So I went to Italy for a month, and first 2 weeks I was drowning in espresso, and overindulging, like way too much in my opinion. It was starting to feel like I was shooting blanks with myself. I was sitting in my hotel room kind of like, I need to do something useful. Like, you came here for a fucking mission. I said before I left, I said, I'm going there to fucking work, to do something. Like, I knew I had a mission while going there. And I felt like, I was like, oh, Italy. I was getting distracted, shopping, all the things. I'm like, you know what? It's not helping my bank account, my soul. It just wasn't. So I go through rabbit holes on Get My Guide. And I'm seeing like these like tours with that you can draw, and anywhere you go, you know, like they have tours, drawing tours, or like day classes of painting, whatever. And I'm like, day classes. I'm like going down. Now I'm on Google, and I'm like, classes for art, whatever. I find a week intensive in Florence.
Okay, shading is about, it's a movement that you do, but mostly is about patience. If you're a patient person, then shading is
like, call me Leonardo da Vinci. I was like, this is so like my dream that I didn't even know was my dream. You know what I mean? Like, things started just clicking. So I take this class after contemplating my entire life, over and over throughout the week. I was like, am I sure I want to go? Like, it's a lot of money. Nah, fuck it. Whatever. We're fucking here, man. And you're gonna spend the money somewhere. So just spend it on something that is gonna take up your time in a great way. I fucking went. Okay. The first day, I cried. After the class, I cried. I have never felt such beautiful liberation in my entire life. I was like, this is literally what life is meant to be. Just like doing what the fuck you want. Like, when you realize you have free will, actually, I was like, oh my God, what freedom. Like, I've never experienced like such freedom. And I was sitting at a coffee shop, and I was just like admiring. I'm like crying. Like, gratitude cries in coffee shops in Italy. Shake hands. Me and that were BFFs. And I realized it's so simple. I've always struggled, and I feel like a part of me is still like trying to do this vlog, and is like, what the fuck is my expression? What do I want to say? How do I want to say it? And am I gonna say the wrong thing? Are people gonna give a fuck? Who cares? Is what I'm saying to that. Who gives a fuck? Back to, what do I want to say? What do I want to talk about? I don't know. Sometimes you just want to talk. Like, sometimes I just want to talk about creating. Like, that's really all I ever think about. And I feel like I don't talk about it enough. I'm always changing as a human being. I feel like every week I'm evolving into a new version of myself, and it could feel like overwhelming, confusing, did I say that? And ADHD coming in, cue music to fill in the space. Oh yeah, it could be really overwhelming and confusing when you're getting to know like this new version of yourself, because you're not at all, well, I am not at all who I thought I was. And I'm like, I've been living with a stranger my whole life. And now I'm like clearing space to like breathe and to like figure out this new version. And I'm like, wow. And now it's been over a month since I've been back from Italy, and this page has been sitting there. I haven't been paying attention to, like, I haven't been able to like execute the message that I wanted to say, because I can't even like begin to process it. I guess this is like a journey. Finding my expression in art is a journey. This was like the beginning. taking that class was the beginning for me to be like, oh my God, because I would always see like these moments and I would like say to myself like, wow, this is like a painting. I didn't have the technique to be able to like paint. And for 2 years, I self-taught. Like everywhere I'd go, I'm just like trying to copy like things in my house, like things in pictures or whatever. But I couldn't do like complex things. I wanted to be able to do like faces, like bodies. I love that, like obsessed with the human body. So I was like, I need to roughen up the skills so I can like elevate this bitch, you know? So that's exactly, literally, Florence gave me the confidence to be like, come home and like, I'm gonna fucking paint shit. Like we're done. Like this is what I want to do. I'm gonna fucking do it. First day, I'm so excited. Like I've never been excited to go to school. Like never. I used to cry, like hands on the fence. Like I was like so not a schoolgirl. I didn't like it at all. I would cry every single day. I would pretend to be sick because I didn't like to go to school. It was just not a vibe for me. I think I just believed that we should just be home with our families every day and do what we love every single day. And this is me like healing that version of myself. Thank you. Hence why I was fucking bawling my face after my class. I signed up for a body oil paint and sketch shading. And turns out that was on my things that I wanted to do during 2024 was learn how to shade. I even forgot about it and I did it. So that was a nice surprise. My teacher was like, okay, go into the room, pick the picture. I picked the picture. I'm like, I want this one. He's like, okay, interesting. He looks at me. He looks at the picture and he's like, you like to suffer. I guess I do. I took a fucking hard one. I realized I'm up for the challenge of fucking anything. I will get myself through. It makes you learn a lot about yourself when you put yourself through uncomfortable situations, challenging situations that you want. I was having this conversation yesterday with one of my friends, shout out Cindy, because we were talking about like things that we've always tried to do in the past that just like never ended up like working out or falling through. Like I'd start something and then I just get like so overstimulated by it and then just kind of like it falls off. Or like I get bored of it and I'm just like, I'm not down anymore, like reached a dead end. And I think that has made me believe that I'm someone who doesn't finish the things that I start. And then so I started just doing things half-assed just because I wanted to finish them. And now I feel like I'm realizing that maybe I didn't finish them because they just weren't going anywhere. And that's fine, because aren't we supposed to like love every step of the process? Don't you want to find something that like you'll never get fed up of? And it doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard. Like it being challenging and loving it is two different things. You can love something so much and it's still challenging, but it like drives you because you're like, no, I can do this. And I feel like that's the energy rather than like, I fucking hate this and it's boring. You know what I mean? Like, so that was like a switch in perspective that I feel like I've been ruminating over, because like I feel like I'm falling into all these projects that I'm like, no, this is what I fucking want to do. I love it. It's stimulating. I feel like I'm not getting bored. I'm always learning. I'm always being challenged. And I love doing it. I'm like ready, you know? So I think it's just a matter of like time, and sometimes like life is just probability. Sometimes it's gonna go off and sometimes it's not. And that's what I've been realizing. So like everything in the past that didn't fall through, it's not because like, yeah, I had a choice. I could have pushed myself to do something, but then I probably would have been burnt out by now, unhappy, probably extremely fucking rich, but like I would have not been happy. I wouldn't have like been here in this moment, which I'm like so grateful for, to be here in this moment as I am, in my body with all of the things that experiences that I've come into and all the skills that I've learned and all like the relationships that I have, like, I feel like I would have never been in this exact moment. So it's not really a loss. It's just a gain. And creation is that way. Like, it's not linear. Sometimes it could take like 5 years. It never ends. And just because like you put something on the back burner, it doesn't mean that you're like falling off. Like, sometimes you need to just like go live your life, have experiences, and like explore, expand your mind for it to like become what it's meant to be, because it's coming through you. So if you have no idea like what that you is, or like feel that you, then how can you execute? If our body is a vessel for creation and the vessel is clogged, how can you create? Throughout these months, I've just been like trying to calm my nervous system, create this stillness within myself to be able to create in a clear way without my mind being a catalyst for destruction. Because when you add judgment into creation, it's never a good mix. Using criticism in a way that's like effective and challenges your growth, 100%, like not settling for like, no, actually this could use a little bit of like a detail, you know what I mean? This could use a little bit of like this and that and that and that. But overall, if you're just like, I fucking hate what I'm doing, and just like throw it outside, like in the garbage without giving it a chance, that's something that I've done in the past, and I feel like it's never got to me anywhere. So it's like giving yourself a chance, giving myself a chance to like create in this open way, and not to judge, because of essentially like we're all here in a creation created by creation. Therefore everything that we are is creation, everything that we create is a creation, and it's beautiful, because there is no such thing as imperfection. There is such thing as not trying your best. There is such thing as like just being an asshole to yourself. So I learned a lot throughout this week about just the idea of how important it is for me to express myself, and I need different outlets to like express myself in different ways, because I'm a fucking Gemini. I'm like, there is like so many versions of me. I feel like one outlet wouldn't be sufficient for me. Like, I need to like, I want to say like separate myself in different outlets, in different crafts. And this is where I can explore different parts of my personality, because I feel like I'm a little bit of everything and nothing at the same time. And plus it's fun, like to release parts of yourself, that using creativity in a way of like lightness, to explore parts of yourself that maybe are like hidden in shadows that you're so afraid of. But I feel like when you put it in art, you're like making it something creative, and it becomes less, oh my god, I'm so ashamed of doing this, or like thinking these things. And we live in a time where we're so blessed to have our platforms, like everyone has a free platform that they can go and express themselves on. It's like insane how like in the past you couldn't just like pick up your phone, start recording yourself, videotape yourself living, and like put it on anywhere, and it's just yours. It brings such presence to life when I'm creating in any way or form, like whatever I just feel in the moment. Doing things with my hands, like being in my body, exploring the five senses, like anything that I can just like get lost in but come back into myself at the same time. Escapism done right, and just being able to like allow yourself to be in any sort of way that you need to. I'm someone who is like a fucking ball of energy, okay? And I cannot be fucking contained. And I have so many like passions in life. I'm like smiling right now, I feel like crying, because I do, and I get so passionate about so many things, and sometimes it's so hard for me to like contain all of this energy in a little small body. And I need to explore it, and I need to release it, and I need to fucking let it go. And this is why videos and like, or voice notes and like just talking about it is so fucking helpful, mixed with a little bit of a god complex, putting it on the internet and feeling like people need to hear what I have to say because what I'm saying is fucking gold. And also, I need to hear what I have to say because I be forgetting how fucking rich in wisdom I am. And I really do be forgetting. And sometimes I go back and watch my videos and I'm like, I really said that. I am really that bitch. And then I remember who the fuck I am. It's like a testimony, a reminder. I'm putting it out into the fucking cyberspace, into the universe. This is I. So expression. I'm learning new technique in this art class. It's teaching me so much about myself. It's teaching me how to surrender, how to be patient, how to trust the process. Everything that I learn in a skill is such a great way to learn about life. For example, like everything requires patience. When you're doing a painting, taking your time with it, and it doesn't necessarily need to be really pretty at the beginning. Like you're gonna go through an ugly phase. Like everyone does. And this is also very symbolic to the healing journey. This is very symbolic to our life journey. Like at 14 years old, I went through a fucking, we all go through ugly phases. And like sometimes I still feel that way. Especially like, I feel like in your 20s, you're just, most of it is like, okay, when is it gonna get good, bro? Like I'm here living, but like, and then you realize it's the little moments that make up like the whole big moment of soup. And yeah, so taking it slow and really being patient with yourself. And like I had this tendency, and my teacher, like, this is why also it's so important to have like someone there guiding you, because I would do like a line and then I was like, the line is not good, and I would erase my whole drawing. And my teacher's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because it's ugly. They're like, no, it's not. And like, you don't realize your skill, or like I never realized, because if you're resonating, whoever the fuck is listening to this is resonating with it, I'm like, I don't know who to talk to. Me? Am I talking about myself? Am I talking about collectively? I have no idea. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. Someone, please let me know if people go through the same thing. Oh my God, I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, talking to you. I don't get it. So I guess I'll say you, we, I. Like, maybe I mean everything when I talk, so just try to keep up. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I'm self-critical on myself, so I just had this tendency to believe that everything I did was garbage. When in reality, like, it was an expression. It was like something that I created, so why would it be shit? Like, I created it. So it really boosted up my confidence, and it helped me realize that I can really do anything. And it's beautiful because everything is a translation. So if you put good energy into something and you really love what you do, I think that it shows. And I'm getting to a point where I'm like looking at the things that I'm creating. I'm like, oh my God, I actually love this. Like, I love the things that I do. And I think that's like goals for me, because we've come a long way. There's so many things that like I never put out, or I never reached like the end, but like, you know what I mean, like kind of like went further because of like doubt or like fear and all these things. And it was just like me holding myself back. And I think like a lot of the things is looking outwards for validation. And sometimes when people will be like, oh, this is like fucking amazing, like, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know. And then it's like boring because like I know it's gonna be good, so it's like annoying. Like, what do I have to prove myself? So, and then, or someone's like, this is not a good idea, and I'm like, oh, maybe you're right, you know. So I was easily influenced by others people's opinions, or like the way that they perceived it. And or like I didn't believe if people gave me a compliment, I'm like, obviously you have to like it, you're my mom. Like, obviously you're gonna like it. But at the same time, like, she'll tell me like, add more color, and then I'm like, don't tell me what to do. So you learn a lot about that, patience in life, accepting the ugly periods, and trusting the fucking vision, because you don't know how it's gonna end up. You have no idea. You're just here like raw dogging life. But you trust the vision is gonna be, if you're a fucking visionary, trust that shit. Not everyone is gonna believe in it. And not everyone is gonna like see it right away. But you just have to like tunnel vision that and trust the process. And that's like something that this paint class has taught me. Because like I did two things that I could have never imagined myself doing, and I can't believe I did it. But at the same time I could, because like I am a talented human being and I'm really proud of myself. And it's a new part of me that I unlocked that I'm really loving and exploring it. I'm like excited to explore it because it's new and it's exciting and it's playful and it's also like analytical, and so it fits all of the boxes for me. So yeah, this week consisted of like me just sitting at coffee shops, shading, practicing how to draw, and like being inspired by life. And that is truly what inspires me, is life, living. When I get stuck into the mundane and I see the same thing every single fucking day, I'm like, get me out of here. I'm bored. I need to remember that I am a part of life. Like sometimes like I'm sitting in RDP and I don't see anyone walking in the streets, or like I see the same 5 people walking their dog every single day, and there's never anyone around. And life, it gets very like, is anyone actually doing anything? And then I'm like, am I actually doing anything? And then you go, even if you go like somewhere that there's fucking people, you're like, oh, people are fucking living. I feel so inspired right now. Like there's people like hanging out, and there's people like doing this and spending time with friends, and you're like, oh my god, life is worth living. So all that to say, finding expression, finding what works for me, and really finding things that I genuinely like to do, and creating seems to be one of the things that I really love, and that like ignites my entire essence. And this is really the beginning of my journey, because I have no idea where it's gonna take me. I'm seeing things that I'm doing and I'm like, whoa, this is like really cool, Cynthia girl, like where did this come from? And you're like, we've kind of been working for this like our whole life, and it's probably been right in front of you, but you never give yourself a chance to actually explore it because you're scared. So just trust and continue trusting, and I'll be fucking great. You'll be great. We'll all be great, because we are great. Because if you can like just look outside and stare at a tree, you'll realize everything is okay in the world. Because if whoever can create life to be such a beautiful, beautiful, miraculous place, they created you to be the exact same way. Except we forget as we grow up, because we have a consciousness. Oh, everything has a consciousness, but we have a mind, experiences, and that can alter our perceptions. So once you learn to just rewire your entire mind, go into your subconscious, unplug everything that you thought you knew, and start from scratch, you're good. You're just good to go. Once the version of you that you thought you knew completely is gone, then you can start over. Metamorphosis. That's about it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing life. I hope you learn, and I hope you just are taking moments for yourself to do the things that you love, and remember why the fuck you're here, because that's all you really can do to live a fulfilling and happy life. I hope life is worth living. Like, I literally cried because my first fucking art class, because I've been through dark days. Like, jeez, and I really didn't think I was gonna make it out, like, alive sometimes. And I was like, oh my god, it really is fucking beautiful once you go through, like, all the scary darkness. You think you're gonna fall on a bed of needles, but really it's a bed of roses. John told me this, that someone told him the other day. But it's like in an enchanted forest, and actually like everything you feared is just non-existent, because we create our life, and the energy that you put out, you will receive back in tenfold. And I think it's just like trusting that you have good intentions and becoming that version.